So for leash walking, we're down at the park today. Not super busy, but there's been a few dogs and my daughter's being crazy. So I start with her here on my left side. I'm using a hands-free leash and I've got my treat pouch, which I recommend you do so you can keep rewarding her for walking nicely on leash so she doesn't learn to pull. I say, let's go, to start walking, and then I start walking and she knows to go. And so I'm occasionally, every 10 steps or so, feeding her in the left heel position. This helps when you're a puppy. It helps teach them where to walk and avoids pulling. So if she were to pull ahead, so I won't feed her for a while here and we'll see what she does. She usually walks quite nicely. But if something exciting is up ahead, like new people, and she wants to go sniff this, so I'm just going to stop her with the leash. I'm not touching the leash, I just stop my body. Good girl! Yay! And anytime she checks back in with me, like looks up at me or comes back on her own, then I verbally praise that. Like, good job. Because walking on leash is a skill that the dog needs to learn, not something that they'll just know how to do automatically. So she's a little ahead of me right now, a little further ahead than I want her to be. So what I will do in this situation is I'll back up a little and she knows to come back into position and I'll feed her right in that position. So stopping and taking a step backwards to get her back into position is great. If she's really excited and pulley, so she's a bit sniffy and pulley here, I'm just going to walk away from where she's pulling. So that's another option. So if she's pulling towards something, you can always turn and walk in the opposite direction, showing her when you pull towards things, you don't get them. Because that's how you create a leash puller, is when they pull, you walk in the direction where they're pulling. And so they learn that they can use the leash to direct your movement instead of learning that your movement directs theirs on leash. She's doing really well. Good girl. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Oh, she doesn't want any of my goodies anymore. Got freaked out on the bridge. Good girl. Yeah, so this is a new place with new scents for her. So she's checking things out, and there's some people walking with their dogs up here. We're just gonna go on a little loop-de-swoop-de. She's just having a little sniff while she's walking. Nothing wrong with sniffing. I just don't want to be dragged over to sniff spots. So if you want to sniff within your little leash area here, that's great. If you try to drag me, we won't be doing that. That's why I like the hands-free leash, and then you don't have to worry about your arm moving. The dog just has this amount of leash, and that's just what they have. So they learn to walk within that range. Good girl. Yeah, good job, puppy. Good girl. I'm just using a high-value treat while we're out, and this is freeze-dried chicken livers today. You can just get those at the pet store, any pet store, freeze-dried beef or chicken liver. She likes that as a high-value reward. Sometimes I'll use cheese, and she likes freeze-dried chicken and cheese too, which you can also get at the store. And then just generally like meat, so like boiled chicken or leftover rotisserie chicken, whatever you have. Those are nice high-value rewards for her. She's getting a little freaked out. There's some airplane sounds overhead that are quite loud, and some people and dogs up ahead. So you can see by her body language here, see how she's kind of lengthened out. Her tail is a little bit low. So when she's feeling really confident, her tail actually curls over her back. But when she's feeling a little nervous, it drops down here between her back legs. So that's a good sign for you. Like, oh, she's feeling a bit nervous. She might need a little bit of time. So if you find when you're doing the walk to school that she's really nervous, feel free to just pick her up and carry her a little bit. If she stops walking or if she's being like really weird, because see how she's like dragging a little bit here? That's just her being scared. She's just trying to get back to the car. So she could try to drag towards home or something like that. And then maybe later in the day, try the walk when you can do it really slow. So if she's nervous like this, I might stop and I'll just let her look around a little. Just letting her acclimatize to this location and the sounds and sights here. Good girl. Because she does tend to, in new situations, she does tend to get nervous, and that's been happening from the beginning. Good girl. And she'll gain confidence as she grows and she gets used to your neighborhood and stuff like that. She'll just need a little bit of time to acclimatize. So she's already feeling a little bit better. See, her tail's a little higher. Bridges are weird. And I think the last time we came here, there wasn't as much snow, so different smells. And there was more people and kids. And now it's just like my daughter running around up here. Good girl. Good job, Winnie. Good. So she pulls ahead, I stop. I'm going to back up a little. And if she starts to go to the wrong side, she's heading towards my right, I'm just going to give her a little leash pressure with my hand over here. Good girl. Come on. And then I just used my hand to lure her back into place. She's just pulling a little forward, trying to get back to the car because she's a little nervous. So what I'm going to do is go over to where my daughter is here by the playground, and I'm just going to stand here with her and have her work on her sit and just observing things and looking around. And that's the best way to help her gain confidence, is just to stand somewhere and let her look around and have fun. So she sees my daughter, you can see her tail. This is the happy tail carriage with her tail up like this. That's her normal I'm feeling good. So she sees my daughter and my mom over here, and she loves people. Good girl, good. And we'll do a nice little sit here because we stopped walking.
She's probably